Hello everyone, welcome back to Jacqs Scraps and thanks for joining me today. So if you're a member of our Jack of Hearts Creative Clubhouse on Facebook, we did a memory deck swap for October and I created this particular memory decks card for my partner and I shared this on Instagram and everyone really liked it, and I was asked to create a video sharing how I put this together. And so that's what I'll be sharing with you in this video today. So let's get started. So I purchased the SVG file on the Silhouette Design store, and it's called Back of Truck Flea Market by Doodlebug Design. And I also found this same SVG file on the Lori Whitlock website. So you can find it in both locations. Once you download it, you want to then upload the file into your Cricut or Silhouette Design Space, whichever you have. And I have it here. I'm just going to click on it and insert images. Now, when you insert this, you can resize it to whatever you want. And I resized the truck to be 4 inches wide. So before I ungrouped everything, I aligned the truck with one of the markers here, and then I counted over the 4 inches until I got the truck the right size. Okay, so I think that's about right. I'm going to ungroup, and then I'll check the size here, and it's 3.96, pretty good. So the next thing I want to do is bring in my memory decks card base. I'm not sure where I got this card. So I'm going to resize that to 4, and I'm going to bring in another square shape because I want to cut this down. So I'm going to, again, line this up with the lines that you see where it makes an inch. And I'm going to use this guideline here and cut this down to about 1 inch. Slicing that, and then I can get rid of the extra pieces. So now I have my base. I'm going to come over here and duplicate the truck. And I'm going to line this up. Now, the way I wanted to do it was not like this. I wanted the outside rims of the truck to be the full width of the memory decks card. So I ended up cutting this down. So what I did was added some more squares, and then I ended up cutting this down to where it would be 3.5. So because this is 4, I'm actually going to take off a square 1/4 of an inch on each side. I can't remember exactly if I did this the first time around, but that's how I'm showing you today. And then I'm going to come over here, take off about 1/4 of an inch and slice that. Okay, I'm going to bring this up because if I resize this, it will change the size of the holes, so just make sure you're aware of that. Now, these are all lined up, and I'm going to bring the truck to the front so you can see. Yeah, that is what I did because I wanted the card, the memory decks card base, to go right under where the tires were. So I would cut those down until they were about where I wanted them. I would select the 2 pieces and come down here to the right hand side and weld them together. Now you have a base for your memory decks card, and then you have your truck that you can bring to the front of it, and that would be your decorative paper. Okay, I'm going to close this file because I want to show you all the pieces that I have. So this is my file in Cricut Design Space, and I will go ahead and make that public in case you're able to use it. I know there's been some trouble when we import our own images into Cricut Design Space and then sharing those links. So I will provide it just in case it works. What you'll see here are two of the truck base images, and what I've done here is actually put a window in the back of both of these so that you could do a shaker, and I'll be showing you how to create that today. Up here you'll see the regular two trucks to make one without a shaker, and then you'll see all the extra pieces. Now from here to here are all the pieces you need to create one truck. These items over here I don't use. These round ones are for the back of the lights on the truck. I'm going to use gems or some other thing that I might have. Those dots from the Dollar Tree are excellent for that. And they have this extra piece here where you could layer it onto the tailgate, but I've not used that, so I put it over here. And then they also have the word truck that you could use to layer as your license plate in the back, but I don't use that either. I like to put an encouraging word there. So sometimes I do cut out two sets of the tires because it gives it a little bit of depth, and I would say the same for some of the other pieces too if you'd like to add more dimension. Okay, so I've already cut out all of these in decorative paper, and now we'll put them together. Okay, now we're going to put our Memorydex card together now that we have all the pieces cut out. Here is the base of our Memorydex card. I used a 100-pound cardstock from Paper Phenomenon. That is really great cardstock. It's super thick and stiff, which I really like. That way I don't have to put multiple layers together. So that's our base. I have the 1-inch piece across that is also 3.5 inches long. That is our, what I call the Memorydex part. And we're going to go ahead and layer that on first. I usually forget this part and have to go back and do it. So just layer that on there. Now when I'm picking the pattern paper for this particular piece, I always think about a truck driving down a road and what might be under it so that it looks kind of like the scenery underneath a truck. I don't know, it's just kind of how I think. So what I have here is a green piece of decorative cardstock, and it has some leaves and things like that on it. And I got this decorative piece from the Pebbles Cozy and Bright paper pad. That's what I'm using to create this particular Memorydex card, because we're going to do a bit of, it's not really a shaker, but we're going to do a see-through piece here. I've cut out my two pieces of acetate, and these are 3/4 inches wide by 2 1/4 inches long. And I'm going to go ahead and put these on top of the hole that we have there. I'm going to add some liquid adhesive. I would prefer to use tape adhesive, but because this is so small, it probably is easier to just use wet adhesive. Just don't put too much on that it seeps through onto the window part. And I'm going to go ahead and use one of these little corn pouches. I'm not quite sure what they're called. I'll have it linked down below if I remember. And what I thought would be fun was to use some faux snow, and I'm using this from Crafter's Square at the Dollar Tree. I just thought that might be fun to put there, make it look like there's snow on the window. I'll use one of these spoons that I got from the Dollar Tree as well. Don't want to put too much. Oh, I think that's plenty. So I'm going to kind of spread it around there. Scoot this aside. Now this is my decorative piece. It's going to go on top, but I'm going to go ahead and add the acetate to this as well. Okay, I have the acetate glued on there, and now I'm going to glue the two pieces together. Now I've not done it with the shaker part before, so we'll see how this turns out together. So we have our faux snow. I'm going to start down here at the bottom, I think. Make sure everything gets lined up before pushing down. It seems good. I loved this paper from the collection with the poinsettias on there. Really pretty. Okay. So there's that. So let's see if it does shake. It does move around a little bit, but it's kind of fun to see the snow in there. Yeah, it does move just slightly, but that's fine. I just really kind of wanted the snow effect. I thought that was cool. All right. Now what we're going to do is finish adding all of the little details. We'll start with the wheels. I only did one set of wheels this time. Last time I did two. Tires. We have these little pieces here. Now, I think these little pieces are to give the illusion of wood on the side of the truck, which I like the concept. And it does add just a little decorative piece. The next thing we need to do is create our dimensional box that goes on the back of the truck for the truck bed. So we're going to put this aside, pull out your 4.5 by 3 inch piece of decorative paper and your scoreboard. With the 4.5 inches at the top, you're going to score at 1/2 inch and 4 inches. Rotate it where the 3 inches are at the top. You're going to score at 1 1/4 and 1 3/4. So it's 1 1/4 here, 1/2 inch, 1 1/4 here. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is some cutting. I'll turn this over so you can see it a little better, I think. So we're going to go to our first score line here on the left-hand side, and we're going to cut up to the first score mark. I'm going to go down to the next score line and cut up. Now, if you want, you could do some diagonal cutting to make a tab to where it looks like that. It doesn't matter. So let's turn this around and we're going to do the same thing. Just cut up to the first score line, and again, if you want to do any wedging of the paper, feel free. Next, we're going to do some burnishing. So we're going to fold on all the score lines. Okay, now it's time to do some gluing. So we're going to put some glue on the back sides of these little tabs. Just pick either one of these, whichever you want to be the front side. And I always glue the little tab to the back so that I know the difference, because we're going to wrap the front one around the back side like that. Okay, so just make sure to square these off when you put them together. And then we're going to put the glue on the larger tab on both sides. And then, like I said, we'll wrap this around the back side and press down. Just creating an open box here. Like that. Again, just pick which side you want on the front if you're not using the decorative piece that goes along with this. So the file also cuts out this strip. So in case you don't use a decorative piece here and you're using white or a different color, solid color, you can then put your decorative piece on top of that. It also helps keep it sturdy, so I kind of like that idea as well. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is glue this on there. And I'm going to do it just so that it makes it a little bit sturdier. Okay, now we'll bring back in the Memory Decks card. We're going to put glue on the back side of our little open box here. Now the way I add this to the Memory Decks card is pretty much to the bottom of the truck. I maybe go up just a hair, maybe 1/8 of an inch if that. And I keep it in line with the tops of the wheel part here, okay? So I'm going to add it on, keeping it in between the two wheels. And you see I'm leaving maybe 1/8 of an inch right there. It's very slight. I don't know why I like doing that. I just do. And it also then brings it to the top of the wheels. And once you get it where you want it, go ahead and burnish it down. And that pretty much is the base of the Memory Decks card. What we're going to do next is add on some more decorative pieces. So you'll see two pieces that look like this in the file, and we add those to the ends of the box. To add these, the best thing that I found was to add your glue to the box and not to these, since you're not putting kneading glue all the way on the ends. Hope that makes sense. You don't need glue on the tip or the end there, so putting it on the box works out better. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add the other one. The tricky part here is to kind of line these up to make sure the same amount is overhanging on your box. That looks about right. And then there's some very small pieces. We want to add these to the top here. So you're going to add that in between these two like little posts there. But that's where our lights are going. So these are like the tail light parts. Top of the truck bed here, the tailgate. My camera cut off, so it missed the part of me adding the bumper to the Memorydex card, but all I really did was just added glue to the tail ends of the light piece down at the bottom and added that on. Now I am going to go ahead and add this second piece onto the bottom. When I first made the Memorydex card, I didn't add another piece down here, but I did on the second one I made, and I really liked it. So I'm going to continue to do that. It just adds some more depth to the tailgate there. So I'm just adding that along the bottom. Yeah, it just gives it some more depth. Really like that a lot. So the last piece to add here is the license plate, and the SVG or Cricut file cuts it out like this. Normally I add a word here, but I've been looking for a word, and I found some stickers from Echo Park, A Perfect Christmas by Lori Whitlock, and these are enamel phrases, and I found two that would be perfect. This one that says "Have a Sweet Christmas" right here, because the shape is basically the same as the one from the file. But then I saw this one that says "Happy Holidays," and it's a square one. It looks more like a license plate, and that's the one I'm going to go with. So I'm not even going to use the piece that I previously cut out. I'm just going to go ahead and add this to the bottom of the bumper here in the center. And I love how this pop of black just kind of sets it off, and it also corresponds with the tires, so I love that a lot. So I'm just lining that up there. There, I think that's about right. And pressing down. And that finishes our Memorydex card with a truck bed in it. And next I'll be adding some little things to go there in the pocket, but that is the card. I love how this turned out. I love the little snow there in the window. It just gives it a little something something. So I'll be back to show you when I have them filled. Okay, so here is the final Memorydex card with the little items that I put in there. Now, another thing that I did to the card itself was I added some of that faux snow here on the tailgate near the license plate and over in the corner. I just thought that was cute, and it just kind of seems like the truck sat out in the snow when they were shopping and they got a little snow on the truck. So on the inside, I cut out this little present card from Cricut Design Space and put that together. Thought that would be cute. And then I made these adorable shopping bags. I absolutely love these. They were so fun to create. They are, let's see, about 1 3/8 inch long here. They even have a little tag that I created, put a little enamel star on there, and then I matched the pattern paper with the collection, added some tissue paper on both the front and back of the bag, and you can put something down in there as well. So these are super cute. And then of course in the truck bed itself I put some crinkle paper to hold them up. So we put in our little shopping bags and our little card here. And there we go. I love how this turned out. It's so adorable. And here is the other Memorydex card that I created. On this one I wanted to do trees, so I added some die cuts for the trees, as well as created one with in Cricut Design Space And then I made some flat embellishments here of some presents. And these all match the collection that I used, again, adding crinkle paper in there. So this was really fun to create. I hope that you like the tutorial and will try this yourself. You still have time to join the December Memory Decks card swap in Jack of Hearts Creative Clubhouse on Facebook. Just have to join to be a member and can be part of the swap. I will be giving away one of these in that swap to whoever I partners with. So that's it for today, everyone. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.